Hello and welcome to LFC Transfer Hub, your ultimate source for all Liverpool FC transfer news. Our first news is this. Quansah refuses to rule out Liverpool comeback through buyback clause. Quansah harbours no second thoughts about his choice to depart Liverpool, though he acknowledges he could be anywhere in the next 2 years. Quansah progressed through the academy system at the Reds and featured 58 times for the first team before his unexpected transfer to Bayer Leverkusen last summer in a deal worth an initial £30 million, $39.6 million, plus up to £5 million, $6.6 million in add-ons. The 23-year-old defender enjoyed a fruitful maiden campaign with the German outfit and is currently representing England at the ongoing World Cup in North America. As part of the arrangement with Leverkusen, Liverpool has secured a €60 million buyback clause and has taken the uncommon step of already agreeing terms with the player should he return to Anfield. Quansah turned out 44 times for Leverkusen last term, including 11 starts in the Champions League, and is vying for a place in England's starting 11 for their final group fixture against Panama on Saturday. Reflecting on his decision to leave Liverpool, he said, "I don't like to dwell on ifs, buts and maybes. The decisions I make, I am always going back myself, and I am not going to dwell on them. I knew I needed almost guaranteed playing time, and I am not naive enough to think that would come automatically at a club like Liverpool. So I left for a top club playing in the Champions League, playing week in and week out, and I played 44 games or so. That is so valuable for my career. And it's not just about me. It's not just about the now, it's about the future as well. Like I say, I'm definitely progressing and getting better and better." Speaking to YNWA, Quansah continued, "I always think about the now, really. We've got a massive tournament ahead of us, and at World Cups, anything can happen from one week to the next. You just don't know with football, just like I didn't know exactly when I was going to leave Liverpool and my time at Bristol Rovers. So you can be anywhere in the next 2 years. You can be anywhere in the next 10. I've just got to think about how I can affect the now and be the best version of myself right now, and that's all I can do." Next news. Mo Salah faces anxious injury wait ahead of first World Cup knockout game. Mo Salah faces an anxious wait to determine the severity of the hamstring injury he sustained in Egypt's draw against Iran, which booked a place in the World Cup's round of 32. Egypt qualified for the knockout stages of a World Cup for the very first time after their 1-1 draw against Iran to finish as Group G runners-up. They will face Australia in the round of 32 on Friday and will hope the week between games will allow Salah to return from the injury that forced his withdrawal in the final group match. The former Liverpool forward asked to be replaced in the 57th minute with the scores locked at 1-1, and while the severity was not known at the time, he was later spotted on the bench with ice wrapped around his left hamstring. He will undergo scans to determine the severity of his injury, but the 34-year-old is confident it is not a big injury that will rule him out against the Socceroos in Dallas. Salah asked to be replaced, but we still don't know the diagnosis, Egypt manager Hossam Hassan said after the match, as quoted by Al Aram. "Since he felt something, it means there is something. He will undergo scans, and we hope for the best." He added, "I talked to Salah, and he said he's going to be okay, and it's not a big injury. We still have time to talk to the medical staff. I think he will be back, and when I spoke to Salah, he assured me he's going to be okay." Salah's withdrawal ended his run of scoring or assisting in every World Cup match he had played, with his previous 4 appearances all returning a goal contribution. He has yet to confirm his next step after leaving Liverpool, with that only expected once his World Cup campaign ends, which he will hope is not forced due to injury. Next news. Liverpool hurt by Premier League problem, and Andoni Iraola must now fix it. Fernando Morientes believes Andoni Iraola must help Liverpool rediscover their defensive mean streak if they are to seriously challenge in the Premier League this season. The Reds leaked 53 goals last campaign, their most in a 38-game top-flight term in the competition, during a disappointing defence of their record-equalling 20th championship. A fifth-placed finish saw Liverpool narrowly secure Champions League qualification, but wasn't enough to spare Arne Slot from being sacked and replaced by Iraola. The Reds will have new options at the heart of defence following the exit of Ibrahima Konate on a free transfer to Real Madrid, with £60 million Jeremy Jacquet incoming from Rennes and 19-year-old Giovanni Leone expected to be fit after missing almost the entirety of last season through injury. And former Reds striker Morientes, who made 16 appearances for Liverpool in the mid-2000s, regards defensive solidity as a key task for Iraola. "I have followed the Premier League quite closely," he said. "It is true they, Liverpool, have not been very consistent. It has been quite irregular. The Liverpool teams that have won the league have always defended very well and then had players who made the difference. That is what Liverpool need to find again. A team that defends solidly, with defensive leaders, so they can then finish games off with the quality of their attacking players. They have always had very talented attackers and scored lots of goals. But this year they have been very inconsistent defensively, and that has hurt them." Konate's move means he will again link up with Trent Alexander-Arnold, who switched from Anfield to the Bernabeu last summer, and Morientes, who spent almost 8 years at Real Madrid before moving to Liverpool, acknowledged Alexander-Arnold hasn't had the best of times since travelling to Spain. "It has been difficult," said Morientes to Bet Brothers. "I have seen several English players come to Real Madrid who did not fully settle in their first season. A lot was expected of him from the start. Some players adapt quickly, others need a second or third season. I do not think he has fully adapted yet, or shown his best version. Not just because of him, but also because of the team as a whole. When the team does not achieve its objectives, individual players find it harder to shine. He is very talented, but he still needs to reach his top level." Next news. Liverpool news. Yan Diomande transfer timeline grows clearer as agreement comes to light. Another day in the summer transfer window has seen more developments surface for Liverpool. The ongoing World Cup has so far featured a catalogue of players the Reds have been linked with. Andoni Iraola's transfer business was launched earlier this month with the acquisition of Spain star Victor Munoz from Osasuna. The Reds are also said to be in hot pursuit of RB Leipzig's Yan Diomande, having communicated their interest to the Bundesliga side. Another strong rumour this summer has focused on Alisson Becker's reported departure to a European giant. Today's news sees updates emerge on both transfers. Diomande delays transfer talk. Diomande has insisted that talk about his future can wait as the Ivory Coast prepare for their first ever appearance in the knockout stages of a World Cup. Liverpool expressed their willingness to pay up to £86 million for the RB Leipzig star last week. However, the Bundesliga side are reluctant to sell the 19-year-old winger and want to enter into talks with the player's representatives about a new deal in Germany. Diomande quotes agency Rock Nation Sports are understood to have been sounding out some of the biggest clubs in Europe for months regarding the player's next move. European champions Paris Saint-Germain are also interested, but it is thought that Liverpool's chase is the most advanced as it stands. Diomande set up Nicolas Pepe on Thursday night as the Elephants beat Curaçao 2-0 to progress to the last 32 of the World Cup. But he was reluctant to talk about club football afterwards. He said, "Right now I don't know. I'm not thinking about my future after the World Cup. I'm trying to put all my energy into the World Cup, and we will see what is going to happen after that. I can say nothing about." Alisson, agreed contract. Football agent David Lavelle has underscored Andoni Iraola's role in keeping Alisson at Anfield this summer. Serie A giants Juventus have been on the hunt for a new shot-stopper and tried to recruit Liverpool's number one. Reports even claimed the Brazilian agreed personal terms with the player only for an agreement between the clubs on the fee to prove tricky. Lavelle spoke to Oggi Sport Notizie and offered his insight into what had held up the deal. "It must be remembered that Liverpool have changed their manager," he said. "Iraola probably wants to take a look at everyone. Alisson only has 1 year left on his contract. I know he's reached a personal agreement with Juventus. The Brazilian is worth around €15 million, £13 million or so, and the Bianconeri entered the race for this goalkeeper with a brazen offer. I don't know if the Juventus management offered €7 million, £6 million, to Liverpool just because he's in the final year of his contract. He added that Liverpool would want to keep the star, who is currently on duty for Brazil at the World Cup. Lavelle added, "Players of the calibre of Mohamed Salah and Virgil van Dijk are about to leave, and you need an older player in the dressing room. I think the Reds want to keep him for that reason." Next news. Richard Hughes is now fighting for his Liverpool legacy as critical period begins. On board the open-top bus that was ferrying Liverpool staff and a smattering of media around the city last year to mark the Premier League title win, the conversation turned to sporting director Richard Hughes. It was stressed, by those who work with him, that he will have taken a backseat view of the incredible scenes unfolding in front of him on the bus that contained Arne Slot and his squad just metres behind. As an estimated 1 million people shuffled onto the streets to cheer on their heroes, it was made clear that Hughes wouldn't have wanted any attention or what he will have viewed as undue credit for the team's success. It was a stance aligned with Hughes being Michael Edwards' man, another Reds executive who has, somewhat famously in fact, never courted the limelight. But despite the reluctance to place himself at the centre of the party last May, it was also detailed how the Scot was one of the best in the business when it came to the position he inherited. Even after the exponential increase in sporting directors across English football this past decade, still so little is known about their day-to-day tasks. But it is fair to say they are judged primarily now, by supporters at least, on the success of their transfer dealings. And with Hughes expected to depart for Saudi Pro League side Al Hilal at the end of the current transfer window, is there an argument to say that the next few months will actually define his Anfield legacy? There are undoubtedly success stories across the last 3 summers. The decision, made with Slot, to hold the club's nerve and keep the nucleus of the squad bequeathed to them by Jurgen Klopp together, was an inspired one 2 years ago. Within a year, the club was celebrating its 20th league title. Tying down club captain Virgil van Dijk to an extra 2 years in April 2025 was a big feather in the cap, and while his final season was not a vintage one, history cannot be rewritten that getting Mohamed Salah to sign on the dotted line was seen as a big tick in the box also at the time. Judging Hughes after losing Trent Alexander-Arnold to Real Madrid would also be harsh, given the club tried to make the fullback one of the best-paid players in the Premier League, and that unenviable situation was something he had foisted upon him when he arrived. But allowing 27-year-old France international centre-back Ibrahima Konate to depart for nothing, to Real Madrid no less, cannot be seen as thrifty or astute, particularly given that Salah's astronomical wages are no longer on the books at Anfield. The gap between the pay demands of Konate and what was offered was said to have been considerable, but the squad are now short of a top-class defender as a result, with all the talk insisting that rookie defenders Giovanni Leone and Jeremy Jacquet will be entrusted to step up. That is a risk. The decision to allow Andy Robertson to walk away to Tottenham Hotspur as a free agent also represents a gamble, given his influence behind the scenes and quality as competition for Milos Kerkez. The sophomore season of Slot, of course, will come under intense scrutiny, but there is hope that the Dutchman will be remembered only for the remarkable scenes of April and May last year, when his side romped home to the title before lifting it in front of fans for the first time in 35 years. Slot's successor, Andoni Iraola, is inescapably tied to Hughes, given their links at Bournemouth and the speed at which the Catalan coach was recruited, following the previous coach's sacking, speaks volumes towards the sporting director's confidence in the new man taking the club forward. That will be another measurement of Hughes's acumen, but it is this summer window that will shape how fans view Hughes's time at the club in the years to come. Last year's history-making outlay at around £440 million is yet to yield real results. But there is a feeling behind the scenes that players like Florian Wirtz and Alexander Isak are simply too good not to showcase their true quality at some stage stop. But right now, less than a month before the pre-season tour begins in the United States, Liverpool's is unquestionably an incomplete squad. As a result, an enormous period of player trading is now upon Hughes and his team, which has at least started brightly with the £34.5 million purchase of Spain international winger Victor Muñoz last week. The chatter about Hughes joining up with close friend and former Bournemouth colleague Simon Francis in Saudi Arabia has not subsided since it was first reported months ago. So if these are to be his final months in one of the most powerful positions at Liverpool, he needs to be flawless. Only then is history likely to judge him favourably. Next news. Liverpool have been given 3 transfer green lights for stars worth £260 million. Liverpool will require some extra firepower this summer if they are to find success under Andoni Iraola. The new Reds boss is already extremely active in the summer transfer window, and there are 3 targets who look open to making the move to Anfield. The club secured £446 million worth of talent last summer, including Florian Wirtz, Alexander Isak, Hugo Ekitike, and Milos Kerkez. While these stars haven't all lived up to their full potential as of yet, Iraola will back himself to bring the current stars to a higher standard. And the Liverpool boss is making moves this summer, with one eye on the ongoing World Cup. A number of stars are performing at the major tournament across the Atlantic, which may spell trouble for the Reds as their valuations continue to rise. Yan Diomande, £100 million. Diomande is the #1 priority for Liverpool currently. However, RB Leipzig knocked back the Reds' offer of £86 million for the Ivory Coast international. The German outfit are adamant to achieve closer to £112 million for the transfer, while they publicly say that the winger is not for sale at any price, as per the YNWA. They plan to offer Diomande a new deal with a significant release clause. It is said that the 19-year-old wants the Anfield move, and there is internal frustration with the player and agent over the deal taking so long. It's suggested the Reds may opt to meet in the middle with Leipzig and offer £100 million for Diomande. Bradley Barcola, £100 million. Another winger Liverpool are interested in is Paris Saint-Germain's Bradley Barcola. The 23-year-old, currently representing France at the World Cup, is reportedly weighing up his future in League One after 3 successful seasons. He's secured 2 Champions Leagues and 3 league titles since switching from Lyon to PSG in 2023. Arsenal were initially leading the race to sign Barcola, as per the Metro, with reports suggesting last week that the Gunners were planning a bid. However, Liverpool did consider a move for the star last year, with French outlet Le Ten Sport stating that Anfield bosses have reignited their interest this summer. They added that Barcola is thrilled at the potential of a move to the Reds and is excited by Iraola's project. Another rising star of European football, any deal with PSG would likely command a similar fee to Diomande. While that would be £200 million on just 2 players, it would go a long way to solving the issues in the front line.